What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. UFC St. Louis, Lewis versus Nascimento just wrapped up. It was a really fun card, actually pretty fun card, a lot of finishes. I did really well on picks, and yeah, I'm going to be starting off with the first prelim, going all the way to the main event, giving my reaction and breakdown of every single fight on the card. Let's get started. The first fight on the card was Veronica Hardy versus JJAldrich. I picked Hardy to win. I thought she would just be cleaner on the feet, outstrike JJAldrich, which is pretty much what happened. She outstruck her for the first two rounds, won the first rounds on the judges' scorecards. Look, are we completely honest? I actually was not awake for this fight because the card started at 6 a.m. here, so I set my alarm to wake me up at around 6:40 because I thought that would be roughly when the Hadley fight started, but no, the fight was still in the third round. So then, in the third round, Aldrich was on top and I was worried. I was like, oh, hang on, did she just dominate her in the grappling? Which I did say she would have an advantage in the clinch and in the wrestling. But no, she just won that round. She lost the fight 29-28, just cleanly got outstruck on the feet. It wasn't actually a takedown, apparently, by the stats that got Hardy to the ground. They must have just ended up on the ground, but I didn't watch the fight, so who cares? But I got my pick right. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Charles Johnson versus Jake Hadley. I picked Charles Johnson to win by decision, and he got it done by decision. Unanimous, 29-28. Won the second and third rounds clearly. Jake Hadley in the first was doing better. Charles Johnson was circling a lot, like around the cage, not really engaging heaps. Hadley did pretty well. He kind of took him down a little bit and was like on his back. Not like fully on his back, but just a lot of cage control and was just doing more than Charles Johnson in round one. But then in round two, Johnson was actually throwing output, not running away, not going backwards, and just went on the front foot and was pretty comfortably winning, honestly, just doing a lot more on the feet. And when he threw more, he was landing. Hadley was trying to do his weird block where he lifts his elbow up, but just wasn't able to do enough. And he got dropped pretty badly in the second round. Charles dropped him with, I think it was a right hand near the cage. Then followed him up and didn't get the finish, obviously. Won the second round, won the third rounds too pretty easily. So gets the win 29-28, and I got that pick right too. Charles Johnson just did more. His cardio was better, and he just threw more output across the distance. So yeah, good win for him. Let's move on though to the next fight. Billy Goff versus Trey Waters. This shit was a banger. It won fight of the night. The first two rounds of this and about like the back half of the third was crazy stuff. They were just swinging. I said this would be a crazy fight. I thought Trey Waters won the fight, by the way, decision if you haven't seen it. But I thought Billy Goff was going to run in like he always does. And normally he can kind of just weather a storm because his opponents don't put him away. And then he just finishes them because he gets tagged up but not finished because his chin is very good. But Trey Waters was able, and I thought Trey Waters was going to drop him because he's more like rangier, better, cleaner striker than Billy Goff's last opponents. But Billy Goff just took all the shots. It was a really weird one to score. I think I scored the first round was it's hard to score because Waters was tuning him up, landing a lot, but Goff did land a lot too, was pressuring him, but I think he actually got dropped at one point by Trey Waters in the first. So I gave him that round. Second round, I think I gave to Trey Waters because he had a guillotine attempt at one point and he looked like, and Goff was fading in that round, but it was really close. Like there was just big momentum swings in this fight. There was moments where Goff was pressuring him, landing really good shots, and throughout the whole, Waters' like facial expression and his body language looked weird. He looked gassed as fuck and he looked like he was about to break and just quit. But then he just kept moving. But then he would just be tagging up Goff. So he won the fight. One judge gave it 30-27, which I disagreed with. I'm pretty sure a judge gave it 30-27. It ended up being unanimous. I guess they just score it for the guy that looks like the cleaner striker. In the third round, there was a bunch of clinching. And then towards the back half, it just swung. It won fight of the night. But yeah, I would have given it to Waters. Close fight, though. Could have gone either way. It's just hard to judge the damage because Goff kept moving forward, but Waters looked like the cleaner striker in there. So yeah, good win for Waters, but I expected him to actually get a finish. So credit to Goff's chin, he did really well. But let's move on to the next fight. Ricci versus Tisha Pennington. I picked Ricci to win a close decision. I thought she would just do more, maybe mix in the grappling, have some success there. And I think said in my breakdown, I was like, it's probably going to be a controversial decision. And it was. She won a split. The judges all three gave Pennington the first round. She just did better. She was landing more on the feet. Ricci looked kind of shit. In the second, Ricci just did a whole lot of grappling, landed some good shots too. Like, both of them were landing some decent shots, but it was pretty much whoever won was just who threw more, because neither of them really defended punches. And they just kept running in with their heads. But the best part of this fight was the clinch exchanges, where Ricci had Pennington up against the cage, and the cake was on show. It was tremendous stuff, and that was basically what I had my eye on the whole time, so it was hard to score the fight. Probably why the judges were all over the place. But yeah, second and third could have gone either way. I think I gave the third to Ricci because I thought she landed better strikes, and the second is close. I would have given it to Ricci, but whatever. I got the pick right. Close fight. You can't call it a robbery. It's women's MMA. Neither of them really landed anything impactful on the feet. So, like, people trying to nitpick women's MMA decisions, it's like, fuck off. It's close. It could have gone either way. Who cares? Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Terrence Mckin versus Esteban Ribovic. Esteban Ribovic KO'd Terrence Mckin in under a minute with a head kick, and this fucker didn't get a bonus. Dana White's given Diego Ferreira and Carlos lberg bonuses. How do you not give Ribovic a bonus? He flatlined KO'd a guy with a head kick, one of the best KOs of the year. Maybe I'm exaggerating there, but it was sick. It was a clean fucking head kick KO, and he didn't get a bonus. So justice for Esteban Ribovic. Put that in the comments right now. Type justice for Esteban or justice for Ribovic, or like justice for McKinney's dad or something like that, because he sunned him, KO'd him immediately. McKinney, he looked okay, like he was landing some jabs and stuff. He looked quick, but no, Ribovic was like, fuck all that, I'ma just head kick this motherfucker in the face, and he slumped him. Very Kevin Lee, Gregor Gillespie-ish moment, just slumped him up against the cage, like sitting upright against the cage. But unlike Kevin Lee, Ribovic didn't need a follow-up. And it was flatline. It wasn't like a TKO wobbled. It was like he was unconscious, out cold. McKinney does a really good job of getting highlight reel KO'd. It's quite fun. He highlight reel KOs people, and he gets highlight reel KO'd, because it was similar to the Bonfim one, just flying me brutal flatline. Yeah, I don't know what. I picked Ribovic, of course. I was happy with the result. I really don't know. I guess people thought McKinney was like the cleaner striker, or Esteban hadn't beat anyone good, but you just kind of look at them fight and be like, McKinney ain't that good, and he gets tagged a bunch. But this wasn't even how I thought Ribovic was going to win. I thought Ribovic was going to survive a tough first round. McKinney might grapple. McKinney might mix it up and be kind of shooting him up a bit. And then I thought Ribovic would come back late and win in the second or third, because I know Terrence McKinney has no more than 5 minutes in him. But no, he just flat out KO'd him with a head kick in a minute. So really good win for Ribovic. Definitely a guy to keep your eye on at lightweight. And I know the last time I said that about someone was Mateusz Rebecki, and he just fucking got smoked. But whatever. I'm going to put the curse on Ribovic. He's Ribovic, Rebecki. You know, I'm putting the surname curse onto the next fighter out of Argentina, Esteban Ribovic. Amazing KO. Because this is like, he had a bunch of KOs on the regional scene, and in his UFC record, he didn't look like the biggest finisher. But no, this was a real finishing kind of performance, and he's looking good and really crisp striking. So good job to Ribovic. Let's move on up the card. Chase Hooper, aka me. If you watched my live stream, there was some memes going on saying, congrats on your win, bro. Because apparently I look like Chase Hooper. But yeah, he got the win over Vyacheslav Borshev. This was the first fight on the card up until this point that I got wrong, because I picked Borshev to win by TKO. I thought he would stuff the takedowns and just be better on the feet. But no, Hooper flat out smoked him everywhere. Dropped him on the feet with a right hand bad. Was beating him up in the first, like, arguable 10-7 round. And then got him down again in the second, just beating him up more, and then got a submission. Kind of a weird finish, but valid, because it looked like Borshev tried to play the game and like tap once and make the ref stop it and then complain, because he tapped but didn't tap multiple times. So the ref probably should have let it go, just because you got to be sure. Like, if he's trying to play the game, say, nah, fuck you, bro. I'm like, you're either going to go out, or I'm not stopping this fight, because if you say that you didn't tap, then I might look bad. But no, I think it was a valid stoppage. It did look like he tapped, but then he started pushing on the hip. So it was a weird stoppage, but it wasn't like early on, or one guy was winning and the other guy got a robbery, like, submission. It wasn't like that. Hooper was dominating him the whole time. So really good win. Looks great on the ground. And this was the first fight I got wrong. So Chase Hooper proves me wrong, you know. It was a tough training camp for myself. I wasn't too confident going in there, so I did pick Borshev, but I've got my confidence in my skills now. I'm going to come back stronger next time. And I'm going to get another win. So yeah, that's my promise. But let's move on to the main card. This shit was just dismal. Rebellis to Spain versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Everyone picked Rebellis except for, like, a couple people. Apparently, Rigo picked Waldo, but that's, like, Rigo does meme picks. Like, I swear he doesn't give a fuck about his picks. But, yeah, he picked Waldo, but everyone else picked Rebellis. He was the big, like, prospect coming in here. I had him in my last video about unranked fighters that might be, like, future top 5, top 10 guys, and he majorly let me down, as did Mateusz Rebecki, who I'll talk about in a bit. But, yeah, Waldo, Cortez Acosta, who's never shot a takedown or completed a takedown in his entire career, just took down Rebellis a bunch of times, who just didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was doing his weird little goofy hands down style, swinging big arm punches, and it just didn't work. Waldo just didn't run forward like Josh Parisian, and apparently you only lose to this guy if you just stand there and have no defense and let him punch you in the face. So Waldo just said, I'm going to just take you down, little bro, even though I'm not a wrestler, and Rebellis could not get up the whole time. Some reporter just asked Dana about the fight, and then he's like, it was shit fight. It was an awful fight. Like, it was a slow build. He was kind of saying, like, everyone that came in here put on a good performance. They showed out. They showed what they were about, except for this fight. And it's like, yeah, I think he was kind of pissed because they did kind of have their eye on Rebellis as, like, a prospect that was going to be a problem for a lot of guys, and they could mark it. But no, he's got no takedown defense. I'm convinced this guy's not even done a trial BJJ class. Honestly, take a year off. If you're not going to retire, which you probably should, take a year off, go just pure jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and then come back with some actual skill. But yeah, good job, Waldo, I guess. He fucking won, and he ruined all my bets. But let's move on. Sean Woodson versus Aleksandar. This was an interesting fight, and it was close, and I didn't really know who to score it for. In the end, Woodson got the decision, unanimous 29-28, and there was a 30-27 in there too, which I disagreed with. I gave Woodson the first, and I think I gave him the second from memory, and then I gave Caceres the third, because I thought he was picking it up way more. But apparently the judges gave, maybe I'm tripping, but the judges gave Woodson the third and Caceres the second. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting the rounds mixed up, but let me know in the comments if I'm tripping or not. I think Woodson clearly won the first. He was just doing better at range. But Caceres picked up the output in round 3, which I thought he won. But it was a close fight. Woodson's just got a style where it kind of makes it look like he's in control. And he just doesn't look like he's getting affected by anything. And so the judges are more inclined to be like, oh, he's in control. Not much of this is landing too bad. Otherwise, he'd be hurt. So, yeah, he did well. Gets the win. He won't be ranked in my rankings, top 15. I don't think he's done enough for that. He's done enough to get a ranked opponent, but not be ranked, if that makes sense. A lot of people are saying, do Kelvin Cater. I actually don't mind that fight. It'll be kind of cool boxing match. But yeah, let's move on up the card. Mateusz Rebecki versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. I picked Rebecki like pretty much everyone did. This and the Rebellis fight were 2 of the 3 that I got wrong. And pretty much everyone also got these wrong because I expected Rebecki to come in here and just be too much for Ferreira on the feet, even take him down at moments, beat him up a bit on the ground. The jiu-jitsu is just not going to work. That's what I thought. But no, Ferreira, pretty much, he got dropped in the first bad. Rebecki won the first round. But then Ferreira was just started tuning him up in the second. He actually cut him open. And at the start of the second round, Rebecki's eye was swollen up bad. And he continued to beat him up, cut open his eyes, swell him up, and Rebecki really couldn't see that much. And his style of just swinging big arm punches, which is shown to be like somewhat ineffective at times, like against Nick Fior, he didn't look the best in that fight, but against Rajdorov, he smoked him, and I was like, okay, that was my reason for picking him against Ferreira, because his hands looked really good. But no, a lot of this, it just looked like he was swinging arm punches, didn't look very technical, was just getting pieced up with straights. And yeah, again, me putting him in my prospects video of unranked fighters that are going to be ranked really didn't go well for him. He got tuned up and finished with 10 seconds to go in the third, which was good for Ferreira because he got a bonus, which I respect, giving the 39-year-old a bonus, who was a big underdog. So I liked that. That was good. But I don't know why they didn't give Ribovic a bonus. But whatever, it was a good performance from Ferreira. Looked really good and just took over late. And yeah, Rebecki's style just wasn't that effective, so fair play to Ferreira. I still think Rebecki's okay, but he does need to clean up his striking a lot. He was shooting some good takedowns, but yeah, he was getting tagged up on the feet bad, and close to being stopped multiple times. In the end, did lose by TKO as a massive favourite too. Let's move on though, up the card. Carlos lberg versus Alonzo Manfield. There's not a lot to go over here. It was an 11-second fight of Alonzo Manfield being retarded. He ran straight away, ran at lberg like a spastic, headbutted the cage like an autistic human being, I'm saying that as a good thing, of course. I'm slightly autistic. But yeah, he ran into the cage. I'm pretty sure he like rocked himself against the cage, and then lberg just landed a shot, kind of dropped him to a knee, and then just swarmed him and landed a bunch of shots and put him out. Not like fully out cold, but pretty much out. Landed, I think it was like a big right hand. And yeah, he went backwards, kind of really goofy looking KO. And if you watched my reaction, go to my live stream, I timestamped just that one KO. My reaction wasn't even like, oh my God, he's out. Like it was like a, what the fuck, he's out cold? Like he ran towards him. It was just a weird kind of goofy KO. But good job, lberg gets the win in impressive fashion. I actually thought, because I wasn't impressed with his recent fight, so I was thinking like he might look kind of mid here and win a decision, but no, Manfield ran at him like a tard and got smoked. So yeah, good job, Alonzo Manfield. lberg is actually good at striking and isn't Jimmy Crute. So yeah, you're going to lose. Let's move on though to the co-main event. Mckin Buckley versus the Sultan Rizbev. I picked Buckley to win by, like, I think I said TKO or decision in my video, I forget. I think I went TKO. But I was, like, originally on decision. I was thinking he's just going to beat up or just drag it out. Because in my video, I said Rizbev's losses are fights where it gets extended and it gets dragged out. And he was giving Buckley a lot of trouble on the feet with the range. Even though apparently they both have the same reach advantage. Or the same reach. Apparently, or no, that's what I said. It looked like he was really struggling with the range. The height of Rizbev was noticeable. He really couldn't get to him, and he was getting frustrated. I gave Rizbev the first, but it was close. I could have given it to Buckley. Second round, Buckley because Buckley shot some good takedowns, and I was like, good Buckley. You got to keep him there. And he was letting him up. It wasn't even like Rizbev was getting up. Buckley straight up let him up. But in the second round, he took him down again more. Got to half guard and stuff, was beating him up a bit on the feet. It wasn't like a crazy impressive fight from him on the feet, but on the ground he did really well against Rizbev, and he just couldn't get up. Third round, this is where it took over, because I was kind of thinking, I've got that 1-1, could be 2-0 Buckley maybe, but it's probably 1-1. He needs to really do well here and wrestle, and not get caught on the feet. But he rocked Rizbev on the feet bad, followed him down, beat the shit out of him on the ground. Arguably could have been stopped. I wanted it to get stopped just to give Buckley his moment, and I also think I had round 3 TKO as my prediction. But I was like, come on, give him his finish. This is sick. Finish. Keep throwing ground and pound. You're going to get the stoppage. He just couldn't quite get enough going, even though I thought it could have been stopped. But the ref didn't stop it. Rizbev escapes. Rizbev actually ended up on top at one point, and then Buckley ends up back on top. With about 20 seconds to go, Rizbev just starts spamming up kicks onto Buckley's back of his head, / top of his head, and I was like, what the fuck? And then instead of even warning him or taking a point or giving Buckley back to position, they just stand them up and say 10 seconds to go, and then they just chucked some hands to finish it off. Buckley clearly won. The judges, I think one of them had 30-26, I think one 30-27 and one 29-27, so everyone... Oh no, one judge didn't give the third a 10-8, which is weird. But I was actually surprised they gave the first to Buckley. I guess, because the Sultan didn't do much. But yeah, really good from Buckley in terms of the fight, but the mic work was not it. He called out Conor McGregor in just the weirdest way. Started calling all his family hoes. Weird just call out. It was just not good. He had so many options. You could have called out MVP, you could have called out Wonderboy, you could have called out Burns, you could have called out Ian Gary, you could have called out Colby, call out anyone, but he called out Conor. It was just weird. What are you doing, bro? But regardless, overall, the win, the impressive performance, he walked out with the Uzbekistan flag, the noise he was making up to the fight, I think all of that, I think the Conor call-out is just so forgettable that it won't take away from the performance. We'll remember the performance. We probably ain't going to remember the call-out, hopefully, because it wasn't good. It was just not done well at all from Buckley. But yeah, he gets the win. Good job to him. Dominant, and I get that pick right too. Let's move on though to the main event. Derrick Lewis, fuck what they talking about, USA and this whole shit. The Black Beast almost showed us the Black Beast, if you know what I'm saying. It was a worrying time there. I thought we were going to get John Jones excited on the screen for a second. And then he almost did it again because he mooned the crowd. But talking about the fight, it was weird. He came out, faked the flying knee, threw a little fucking head kick, got a takedown on Rodrigo Nascimento. It was a bunch of clinching. He did land some nice right hands. He looked good on the feet. And I was like, bro, if this stays standing for more than like 5 seconds, you're going to sleep this fuck. He's terrible. But he insisted on cuddling with Rodrigo Nascimento for extended periods of time. It was very unfortunate. So their fight did get extended. Second round, first round, bit dismal. Second round, he was landing some good shots, so I did give that to him on damage. First round was either way, whatever. I thought we were going to be looking at a fucking Almeida fight again. But no, third round, he comes out, engages his powers, and then lands a massive right hand on Nascimento. Has him doing the jig. Has him doing a little shake the booty. And then he drops him, finishes him off, and then waves it airs him out with his shorts, take the shorts off. He lay down on the ground. I thought he was actually just pulling his cock out for a second. I was like, what the fuck? But it was his cup. Like, luckily, he didn't just whip it out on fucking live TV. And then mooned the crowd too. Throws his cup into the crowd. Has a good post-fight interview. Weirdly, sounded like he was considering retirement for some reason. But yeah, again, not like some crazy KO, but with Lewis, you get the KO, you get the highlight. It doesn't matter about the whole rest of the fight. But it was good. Fun fight, fun win, gets it done. Yeah, I'll do my next fights to make videos soon, but I did well on the card. 9-3, 75% prediction rate for this card, which in comparison to a lot of other people is really good. MMA Guru went 5-7. Bedtime went 5-7. Lucas went 8-4. He got one worse than me, so fair play. But I don't think anyone else that I am aware of did better than me on picks. Let me know if I'm wrong, though, in terms of the YouTubers wise. But yeah, I'm happy with this card. It was fun. It was good. Somehow Rebellis didn't get a bonus. Somehow Chase Hooper didn't get a bonus. They gave 2 bonuses and then fight a night. The fight of the night was good, but Lewis didn't get one. I don't hate Lewis not getting one. He gets them all the time. But yeah, Rebellis and Hooper. Give Rebellis and Hooper a bonus, bro. Rebellis is fucking Argentinian. That motherfucker's probably got no money. He's probably working in like a butcher shop or something, or on like a farm herding cows. Like, that's probably his part-time job. Give that man 50K. But yeah, peace out, guys. Next fights to make coming soon. See ya.